I can answer the question, Judge. You can't handle the truth.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Rubs the lotion on its skin or else gets the hose again.
Welcome to After Hours AM, The Criminal Code, with your hosts, Joel Sturgis, Eric Olson, and Dr. Clarissa Cole.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to this edition of After Hours AM, The Criminal Code. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis, right along with me,
Eric Olson and
Dr. Clarissa Cole.
And Dr. Cole is burning for you.
Yeah, practically. Oh, man. Yeah, anybody who hasn't heard, I can't imagine there wouldn't be anybody that hasn't heard at this point, but the it's called the campfire. It started on Camp and Palaga Roads up here, which is why it's called that. The campfire started about a week ago and has burned 130,000 acres, 7,000 homes, 50 confirmed dead, and hundreds more missing. If you're looking for anybody, by the way, I just wanted to let people know that the official list of the missing is now up on websites like CBS, ABC.
That's scary. That's scary. And how did that California fire even start? Did they say how? What was the ignition?
They're still doing a quote unquote investigation, but do we know how it started? Yes. It started the same way that some of the other really horrific, deadly fires started out here. Our power company, PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, they don't keep up. I'm just going to say, I don't care if they do sue me. They don't keep up their lines well. They don't. They are a huge conglomerate. They're a monopoly out here on the West Coast. Nobody else can compete with them. Huge billion-dollar corporation, and they do not keep their lines up. So in these mountainous areas like Paradise was, they had some really, bad lines that were in ill repair that customers were actually calling about days before the incident occurred.
So what kind of penalty does a company like that face? I mean, there's loss of life, there's... You would think that this kind of loss would bankrupt them as a company.
Yeah, they're saying that it's going to bankrupt them, but even with penalties, they're only looking at several billion, and they're worth at least $40 billion at last check. They could do it, and I want them to do it. I don't want them to go bankrupt. I am tired of this. Last year the Atlas fire was caused by them. The Tubbs fire may have been caused by them. Hundreds of lives lost. Customer safety is our first priority. Right.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah.
It never has been. And besides, with the fires last year, or 2017 fires, they just jacked up people's rates to pay for those lawsuits. So, welcome to PG&E.
Insult to injury, raising the rates to cover for the dead.
Yeah, that's no secret. But what I was telling Joel off air really quickly is that when I was looking to buy a house out here, Henry and I were looking around, and I actually looked in Paradise, Magalia. That's the two towns that are up there, and I ended up getting one in a different town a little ways away. And I just can't. Only 10% of the structures in Paradise are left standing.
That is just wow. Why does it seem like California is such a tinderbox? I mean, always, every year it's burning up.
Well, climate change, honestly. It is climate change. I know that the president likes to burn, to
blame,
talk about the Forest Service and say that he's going to withhold federal aid, which is such a mature thing to do, especially when people are dying. But no, Forest Service maybe, but it's really because of the climate change. We're supposed to be in the middle of our rainy season right now. Mm-hmm. Where is it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
where is it? We never had these fire problems in the north before. Now, southern was kind of a different story. That's more desert. It always has been.
Sure.
Yeah, it's semi-arid, and you have the Santa Ana winds blowing hot and dry.
Through a lot of grassy areas. Eric, you're more familiar with that area, I think, than I am. But northern Northern California is not like that. It's very hilly, very mountainous, lots and lots of water. All the water for the entire state of California, in fact, is up here. So it's not a water problem. It's the fact that we are not getting rain.
So everybody that's listening,
pine forests.
Yeah, everyone that's listening, pray for rain. Just intentionally, just pray for rain. Let's see if we can't get some rain started for California. They need it.
Yeah, it was a really rough weekend for me. I'm about knock on wood, I'm about 20 miles from where the fire is, and the smoke is so bad outside that you're not supposed to go outside without wearing a breathing mask, rated N95 or above. So no, that's not just a regular paper type mask. Do not wear those. It's not enough. There's particulate in the air. It's dangerous for any living thing, including animals. And I went out to get like air filters, for the air purifiers.
Yeah, the HEPA filters, yeah.
Yeah, HEPA. Every store in town, I found 2. They were all sold out. And there were huge crowds of people, in certain places, not the hardware stores, but like the, Walmart type stores, Target, places like, and I'm like, why are there so many people? Like, I just wasn't getting it. And then I realized that they were people that had come down from those communities and they were looking to buy, like, the underwear and sock sections of those stores were sold out. They need clothes. They just need basic stuff.
That is so incredibly sad. These poor people, and the refugees is really what they are. Natural disaster refugees.
They are. They're refugees coming down from that area. And Paradise was not a huge town, but it wasn't super small either. I mean, 30, 40,000 people.
Well, that's a lot. You have an extra 30 or 40,000 people influx into your city, and you're not ready for it. That's a real burden on the infrastructure.
Oh God! I mean, I felt bad for like the store managers and the people working the counters. They were calling people from at home, like, please come in. We need more checkers. We need more merchandise, like going in the back, dragging out boxes. And I've seen cars drive by with the paint blistered.
I bet you
that's how close their cars were to the fire.
I was going to say, I bet you FEMA's all over it, right? They're everywhere. FEMA. They're all helping her. FEMA. No, they're supposed to be right there, aren't they? I mean, that's their job.
What? There isn't. No, in fact, Donald Trump didn't release federal money for the helicopters that drop water until the day after Paradise burned. So, thanks for that.
Oh,
yeah.
Day late and a dollar short.
He tweeted about it, that he was such a magnanimous president. Well, first he threatened that he would never give another dollar to California again unless we got our forest management together. And then he got the news that, hey, lots of people died last night. And then he released the funds, even though the state of California had requested them 24 hours earlier, and it could have helped. We didn't get the water carriers until 24 hours after.
Dang.
The fire is only 30% contained at this point.
Wow.
30%.
And depending upon which way the wind blows, I mean, unfortunately, Clarissa, you could actually be in the crosshairs.
It's coming this way, actually. Yeah, there's one town before me, before my town, and so we're on notice. Like I said, can't go outside without respirators. Everybody's supposed to be filtering their air. The water's not safe. Nothing is safe at this point. And then you've got the president tweeting about how forest management is terrible. Like, are you kidding me? People died. I have an entire town full of refugees, like you said, Joel, that are here to buy underwear, water.
A question just hit me on Facebook. What did they do at prisons when a wildfire like this happens? Should it hit a federal prison or a state prison? What do they do to the prisoners? Did they let them die, or do they evacuate the prison? And if so, what's the protocol?
That's a great question. We have not really had one that has been directly in the path yet. I mean, knock on wood, we haven't had one. We do have, plans in place. I know that just because I know they always have logistical plans for hostage crises and all this other stuff. They would be moved. My guess is that they would have huge caravans of buses moving them to out-of-state private prisons, because we don't have the room here in California. They would have to move them out of state. I mean, that's the only, the things I worry about more, because I know the prisoners would get out. Our infrastructure is pretty good for that, to be honest. What I'm more worried about are things like private nursing homes and stuff. They've had a lot of trouble.
Oh, sure. Now that you mention it, nursing homes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hospitals.
Yeah.
Because they're not mobile. Like, you think about people that need to be on machines, like 24/7. What do they do?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to get the battery packs for things like that.
Look what happened in Puerto Rico.
And I mean, it was like that with the last fire. And actually, the community of Paradise had a lot of elderly residents. It was more of a retirement community, which I love, by the way. I just do. I'm not like one of these party all the time people. So I was all about that. But a lot of them did have ailments, and they couldn't really get out quickly. And some of the videos that I have seen are some of the worst things I have ever seen. I mean, with people's ability to do Facebook Live now, some of the people that posted videos we now know did not get out. They weren't posted after the fact. They were posted during. And the vast majority of the deceased are in cars that are lined up on the road, and they couldn't get out.
Yeah, you're explaining to me before we went on air that Paradise only has one road in and one road out. So
yeah, there are roads like kind of from the north, like around the sides of the mountain, but that's the direction the fire was coming from. So to the south, there's only one major thoroughfare, one highway into Paradise and Magalia, and it's a mountain community. Like if that road is blocked, there's nowhere to go. There's no way to get out.
Again, everybody, pray for rain. Pray for soaking, horrible deluge rain just to get this fire out, but then stop. We don't want mudslides, but just enough to get this thing under control. And also pray that the winds calm down so it stops moving that fire so quickly. So again, pray. And of course, you can keep up to date with Clarissa over there on Facebook and over at thecriminalcode.com. But Clarissa's an avid Facebooker, so if you would like to any updates from Clarissa, her safety, I know people are already asking, gosh, she's got to get back to Wisconsin, get back to Madison, and where it's safe, but that's where you live and that's where you work. So you'll keep everyone posted, mainly via Facebook, right, Clarissa?
Yeah. And I'm one of these people that is either going to bail real early.
I would too.
You know what I mean?
I'm
gonna bail real early, or like in the case when the Oroville Dam was kind of threatened, we thought like maybe there was a deluge coming, like when we saw the cars on the road. So there's no way, like they're not going anywhere. It's just gridlock traffic. We're gonna wait until the traffic dies down and then go. But in case of a fire, you've got to go right away. So
go now.
Yeah, it's been kind of a scary week, but other than that, things are all right.
Wow. Well, Clarissa, hopefully you're safe. Eric, man, you lived out that way as well. So do you remember being kind of that way even when you were a kid there growing up?
Yeah, but to a much lesser extent. I mean, my brother lives in Lake Elsinore, and that's just south of L.A., and it was just the last round of fires. It was just a month or two ago. His house, it was blocks from being burned to the ground, toasted. He just absolutely lucked out. Heroic effort. You were talking about the water dumpers, and they even had the planes, coming through, and all kinds of people, putting themselves in peril. Basically, save their town, but all around the town. That started in a camp as well, literally in a camp, and that was arson. That one was. So, I mean, it's terrible, and it's certainly very relevant and brave of you that we are addressing arson this evening. And, I mean, wow, it's amazing stuff. No, it is picked up. I am from the right on the border between San Pedro and Palos Verdes, and it is certainly, semi-desert, as is all of Southern California. It's right near the ocean. Maybe it's a little bit damper due to the sea breezes, but I cannot recall a fire that came to us. Usually it's more in the foothills and the slightly more rural, semi-rural areas that are overgrown. Because it's desert, you get all kinds of desert-like brush, you get tumbleweeds, you get all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And what happens is when it's the rain, when the rains come, then they grow, and they grow like crazy. Then the rest of the time, everything gets dried out. So you just have all of this kindling, this tinder, just sitting right there. So that's bad. It happens up in Malibu, happens in the Hollywood Hills.